Welcome to today's visual community seminar, and I'm Carlton. Uh, so today I'm going to share about why does Codex matter and how we use Codex in our daily research. And this presentation would not be possible without all my teammates, including Bingkun, Reihen, and Harsh. So a lot of demos, we work together to get them out. Okay, first thing first, a disclaimer. Today I'm not going to be a salesperson or salesman or woman for OpenAI Codex. So don't take my own suggestion as trying to persuade you or use Codex or purchase Codex. And second, this will be more like a spark of interest to explore all kind of use of agentic tools, including Codex, Cloud Core, or whatever other tools you know. And today will feature a lot of demos. Okay, today I'm gonna mainly focus on Codex because this is what I use almost all the time. And in case you don't know, there are many free ways right now to use Codex, including command line, Mac OS desktop app, and also you can use the Codex plugin in your IDE like VS Code or Cursor. And last week, Evan talks about how we can use Codex to re-implement ray tracing from the classic computer graphics course. Um, and that was a pretty good example for doing something which is purely software-based prototyping. And what is different today is that today I will focus more on software plus hardware, and they will be grounded in real human body and real world. And I will start from 5 aspects I show here, including wearable device, iOS device, XR headset, embedded device, and also I'm going to share a little bit about robot platform prototype. And the first thing is wearable device, which I mainly develop a lot on my Apple Watch here. So first, so there are a lot of things. The first thing is a very mini sketch on your watch app. So this will take your hand gesture as your inputs for all the interactions. I'm not gonna jump into too much details today for all the demos, but show what you can do. And second thing is I use Codex to develop a daily English words, and which can help you review all the words you take down. And last thing is another smartwatch app you can which can estimate your heart rates from your arms. So what are the points for all the demos here? I'm gonna break them down, talk a little bit more about what's behind. So for the first watch, so you may consider it as, oh, I don't get the meaning here. What's the point here? Why do I want to develop this kind of app? Just take your random gesture. So actually, this demo is an experiment for my last paper, your ST project. And if you just consider it as a single demo, maybe it doesn't make too much sense. But in that project, we need some kind of device to take the user's input from their uh, from any surface. So because we are developing on we are developing on some kind of lightweight glasses, and there's no good support for an flexible portable input device when the user moves around in their real world. So we do need something here to help us read the gesture from the users. And that's why that's why the watch comes into our mind. But for watch, you cannot program it very easily. So that's why I asked Codex for helps here to help me enables an input feature from my watch. We still verify the technical feasibility here. So it's not too bad thing to have Codex to help me explore this direction, and I don't need to waste too much effort and time here. And the point for the second demo is that this is something I want to develop for quite a while. It's a personalized app, and it's also served for my daily use in a long term. And as a non-native English speaker, I need to learn English, keep learning it for all the time. So I don't want to find out my books and check out my Notion in my laptop actively day to day because that will bring a lot of effort to myself. And while I'm dealing with all the other stuff, so it would be so great here to have something proactively prompts. Oh, you should review some English word you learned uh, previously. So that's the point why I gave the second demo. And the last thing is something I'm exploring at this moment. So this is a prototype for, it's also a prototype for new projects. And this will serve as a workaround solution. But the good thing is it can be programmable and with other modules. Okay, from wearable watch, you can further use Codex to help you prototype something on your iPhone. Uh, Still, again, I have this, all of the demos here are all prototype with Codex. And the things they are doing is not too complicated and it's not too fancy. But if you want to set up all the environment and configure everything well polished and runnable, there are actually a lot of efforts behind. They are more about engineering instead of researching. So that's why, again, I think Codex really helps smooth a lot of workload and burden dealing with all these setup issue. I can show it a little bit here. Okay, so first demo is I'm developing on my glasses. So as you can see here, I'm wearing glasses. And then I'm trying to achieve some object detection from my first person view. So the first person view is this is the glass first person view. I'm not using the phone at all. And then you can run some object detection capture from your egocentric view on your glasses. This
Which glasses are those?
Meta Ray-Ban. Yeah. And the second thing is also kind of similar, but doing different thing, more like visual question answer.
Could you please describe what kind of colors of these glasses is?
The glasses are yellowish green with a metallic frame.
Okay, it works pretty good from my point of view. And the last thing is, okay, I call it a phone touchpad input control. This is actually something we adopt at the end to replace the Apple Watch input device I mentioned just now at the end. But from high level, they are working on for the same purpose. We are trying to achieve 2D plane inputs feature here. And let me talk about what are the points for all these demo here again, why I need to develop them at some point in my research. So the first one is still a prototyping for my last project and verify technical feasibility and also check out the capability on some on the new devices. So now from Apple Watch to your phone, we take one step further. We are also developing on wearable glasses and using Codex for prototyping. And now Rayhan and we can do a live demo here to show how Codex can help us work this thing. The thing we are trying to do is right now is we'll wear the glasses and walk around, scan around the environment, and you can reconstruct. You can use SLAM to reconstruct the space and also estimate your eye gaze from the eye tracker on your glasses. So these glasses is Meta Area glasses. There are egocentric, there are SLAM camera on the front and eye tracking camera trying to catch the view of your eyes. And I think Rayhan can walk around and record a 5 to 10 seconds session. Rayhan can just randomly walk around and trying to capture the environment here. Then demo test. Okay. So the workflow is like now a user record environment from real world, and then I just prompt Codex. Let me think about it. Okay, I would say run MP, run slam and igate. I will read the prompts out because it's too small here. So run slam and igate using the latest recording session on my glasses. In a visualization tool called rerun.io. Okay. Usually for 5 to 10 seconds recording, it would take 10 minutes to 20 minutes to run the slam behind. So I'm not gonna waiting for it here, but I think 20 minutes later, it will pop out visualization viewer and you can see the result of this space. And let's see if it will fail or not. Okay. I think at least it's successfully find out the recording session we just recorded just now because the name is aligned with what we named demo tests. So I'm gonna continue. And this is a pre-recorded result. Later you will probably see something like a point cloud construction of the space and your first person will, when you are recording. And also there's a point trying to indicate where you were looking at when you record a session. We also do more crazy things using XR headsets is trying to use Codex to help us add these 3D things. But the conceptual design part is by the human researcher, and we offload all the implementation to Codex agent. And I think for half of the editing in Unity is using Codex and I prompt Codex and help me to finish editing. But for the other half, I still need to I edit by myself manually. So I believe from game object thing, animation effects, and even batch editing in Unity 3D can be done by Codex at this moment. So I can give a more concrete example. For example, there are 10 cards here, and there are maybe 10 to 20 texts. And if you need to turn on Unity and find out the text field and edit them one by one, it would be there will be a lot of manual efforts behind it. And if you can find a way to express what you want to specify the text in these cards, I think you can manipulate the scene from a higher level, and even more, because the current AR or mixed reality system is quite heterogeneous. So for different kind of device, their platform it will be kind of different. For example, for Apple Vision Pro, you may need to use Xcode or Swift AP or Swift language. And then for Meta Quest, you may need to use Unity 3 and Android platform. And also for Meta Ray-Ban display, it's basically a web-based platform. But for the same kind of interface design, you implement the same specification to different XR device. It will involve so many manual labor. And the point here I want to show is like Codex is also possible to do cross-platform and cross-device programming. So for example, for the same kind of design of interface with similar specification, you can actually prompt it to help you prototype across platform and cross devices. Okay, here are some results for the point I just mentioned. For the first picture here actually show the interface I'm trying to implement in Unity 3D. And for the second picture here, which is implementation in web-based platform, you can probably see the visual layout here is quite similar, but they are actually on different platforms, different languages by prompting the agents to do it.
Ask a question about the Unity stuff.
Yeah.
When you're talking about making mass changes to a scene, were you referring to using like a Unity MCP server for that, or you more thinking about Codex actually modify the files, sync the file system?
I haven't tried Unity MCP server at all. So how I did it was, I was using a cursor and open my Unity project and find out yeah, maybe in the assets folder or just the whole project of your Unity folder. And then I used Codex plugin in cursor, and then I prompted at the project level instead of a specific file level. I say, now there are 10 cards or 10 labels in my Unity 3D scene, and I want to name them by book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Please help me change and edit the scene. And I think I probably also take a screenshot and put it as a context and then ask it to change the 3D scene.
So how does cursor connect to Unity?
I think it was directly changing the serialized value of your unit scene.
Files.
Yeah, at the very underlying layer. That was also very surprising to me because it's not changing code or changing files, but changing the values of your scene were underneath, and they can do it. But I haven't tried to use Codex to do very complicated 3D scene editing yet, because my example is very simple and constrained, very clear, straightforward at this moment. So I will also interested in if there can be more crazy 3D editing soon.
The Unity now has an MCP server, so it's something that I haven't tried it recently.
Yeah, that would be cool to try it, of course. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Tony.
I tried the MCP server, but somehow it always messes up pricing. I don't know why.
Yeah, I have similar feelings, so I didn't try to prompt Codex to do too complicated 3D scene and layout editing yet. But if in a constrained setting, maybe that it works pretty well. And okay, let me continue. So here are two results demo of the same interface, same specification of the interface, but on different platform. One is on Quest 3, the other is on lightweight glasses, Meta Ray-Ban display. Okay, now let's dive into embedded device. So this is something we are exploring recently in these several weeks. The question we are trying to answer is how we can present AI information in the physical space. And we are not adopting a robot's immersive AR visualization or headset for some reason. And at the end, we adopt a way to go through embedded device and even IoT devices. And we don't have too much knowledge and experience here. So again, we ask Codex for help and help us program with this kind of hardware device. And we are still starting from the most easy thing like light up LED bulb or RGB LED bulb. And then Codex can manipulate your Arduino. This is not very surprising if you already have all the experience before. And then I'm trying to do something more interesting. So if you use a buzzer on this ESP32 controller, you can actually translate the sum into some machine readable codes, and then they can translate the music and make the sound. Try to compare two audios here. The first audio is from a famous movie. Okay, so this is the input audio we gave. And then this is the translated result. This audio works pretty well, and then I try to do something more crazy. It's like I give any random song I listened recently from my Apple Music or Spotify. The music I list here and I try is called Monday by one of my favorite singer, Lea Do. So the beat sounds like this. Okay, and then you can guess how Codex can work here. I would say it's not very satisfying, but from some to some degree, it is still trying to imitate and learn the reasons behind. So yeah, I think Codex may not be very perfect for all the things you can try here, but I think there's a lot of interesting things you can explore, and it's also happening. So yeah, so again, the point is like I think Codex can also help me to program the real world as well. And you just need to think about from what kind of way and from what kind of method, and just unlock your imagination and try to do it. Okay, the last part is more hardcore, and we can also talk about how Codex has been coming into robot platform prototyping. And this part is actually from my landmate Harsh. And so I'm trying to introduce a part in play for him. So the thing he was trying to do are basically two things. The first one is using Codex to design a 3D printing board to mount the big battery station here on top of the Create3 board platform. So I think the difficulty he encounters is like how can he balance the weight of a big battery station? The thing is like the bottom big one on the second image, and then at the same time he still need to mount the Z camera on top of it. So there is some so they really need to design a very good design 3D printing mount board to help them support all this hardware on a robot platform. And they use it and they tried it just for 3 times. And I think at the third iteration, the printed board can help them finish the thing very well. And he told me he doesn't really have too much experience to design a customized 3D printing board before. And the second thing is you can also try to use Codex to help you debug some weird issue in your robot platform. The example he tried here is like there is some miscommunication of the robot ROS topics between the button Create3 bots and the compute and the embedded computer, which is JSON on top of it. And at the end, the Codex read all the terminal logs from both of these hardware platform and find out the reason is that the topic and the information is overloaded from the JSON to the Create3. So, and Codex gave out the suggestion and he fixed this bug. And this bug actually takes, I think it was already happening in last year's summer, and we didn't keep spending. We spent several days and we still failed to fix it, and we just put it there. And then Harsh encountered this bug again this summer, so he has to fix it. And then, so it's almost like a long-term issue for us, but I'm happy that we finally find out the issue behind and fix it. Maybe there are more crazy things you can use Codex to help you to debug, test, or develop, design hardware robot platform. I'm not a robot expert here, so I will be interested in what kind of things you can do with it to help you achieve. Okay, last part is what kind of things Codex cannot help me until now. First is real participant study, which may involve behavior observation. I also know, of course, I noticed there are a line of research of work using synthetic user in HCI research, no matter as your interview participant or maybe test how the graphical user interface works well in your web-based platform. But for example, for real-world task and real-world study, there is still no good way to use synthetic agents or synthetic users to help you finish the study and find out the phenomenon behind. Second thing is physical thing setup. I need an environment to conduct my study, and this part cannot be done by Codex, of course. And the last thing is very basic thing, just wiring and connect the circuits. Of course, Codex and robust cannot help me very well at this point. And there are 3 main lessons from my bottom of heart after interacting with AI for quite a while. The first thing is, I think we still need to protect our time of intentional human thinking. And the second thing is, when you encounter a question or problem or a need or request, you can almost always ask Codex to do it, or at least help you think about how I should do it. And for the first point, I think it's more related with people's system one and system thinking. So it's talking more about how you would respond from react from your intuition, and also how you can think more analytically thinking, and also be more aware of what is happening now. But for the second lesson, it's more talking about how you can have a new type of thinking involving with AI here. You may think together with AI and scaffold how you need to finish the thing. Very last thing is, we don't always need extra high reasoning mode. If you are clear of what you need to do, low reasoning mode would be what I recommend here, because it would be more efficient, and I don't need to wait for AI to keep thinking, planning in place of my agency. That's almost all the thing. Let me check about the real glasses. Okay, still is working yet. Before jumping into the discussion, thank you so much for listening to me and trying to introduce what we use, how we use Codex and what we do here in our practical research. Feel free to bring out any question. If there's no, we can have some open hub discussion right now.